Well, hello! Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist. Joined with hubby.
Hubcap.
And fur babies. And today we are focusing on the white ears of the horse, of a horse. There's two in the photo, so one of the horses. There we go. I feel quite out of practice because we were sick, so hadn't been live streaming. I'm gonna
sorry about that.
Get us angled in on the ears. You're gonna see glare, and that's normal. That's from my light to the top right of us. One thing, always make sure your tip is clean. Rub your fingernail. If there is no resistance, it should be clean.
Make sure your tip is off.
Yes, make sure it's off. That would be owie. I promise, owie. If it's dirty, this is the white on my strop. You can use an old leather belt on the inside where it's, more like the suede. Never use sandpaper or wire of any kind to clean your tips. Just a tad bit of aluminum oxide. Do a couple of swipes. Wipe off on a clean area. Run your fingernail over the tip. Yet again, you'll feel the carbon, and that's why I tell you to rub your fingernail over the tip. My tip's clean, so we are good to go. So we're gonna start on this outside ear first. Hey Carmen, let me find the photo. There we go. I should have done another photo. I was going to try to make this bigger, but no, we're going to leave it. So, on this back ear, we don't see the inside at all. But what we do have is very white fur right here. So white that that area would probably have white highlights applied to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this white charcoal, General's white charcoal, number 558. I'm going to just quickly put some of the hair in. Now, this piece of wood, this basswood, is running east-west, excuse me, left-right. So it's going to burn slightly different than what you guys normally see, because that's just how grain works. Alright, so we got some white there. Do we have any more really, really bright areas? It looks like got a little bit right here. So I'm just going to go up against the edge. And what I'm doing is giving my eye a visual, hey, pay attention to this. It changes right here. It looks like the white, though it gets shorter, goes up the ear. So I'm just going to quickly tap those areas, and that's just so I don't burn there. I'm going to bump I'm using the Optima 18 small spear shader, and I'm going to do it at 1.5 to start because we are burning white. White, always there will be a burn there unless it's super bright like what we have along this area right here. So that is where it is slightly different, and it looks like, looking at the reference, we have, I didn't draw lines here, which is fine. Kind of curves up a little bit, so I'm going to mark that out a little bit. Again, just a visual. I do not want to burn over it, because when I burn over this white, it burns gray. So I'm not going to do that. It's just so when I get to this area, I know this is super white. So I'm going to test. There we go. First things first on this horse, you can see he's got splotches everywhere. Not going to worry about them. They don't matter right now. I'm not going to even pay attention to them. So where I do have the graphite, I'm going to go up on my tip and make quick strokes, again, because I am not burning where the grain is up and down. It's left to right. It burns slightly different, so just pay attention to that. I'm going to start off pretty light, and what I'm doing is trying to follow the direction of the hair, and I'm just tapping, and I'm kind of turning to the right a little bit to get the right leg. That makes it a slightly thinner stroke, and again we can see how light that is. I mean, it coming up barely a burn. And now I'm going to go in between some of this graphite here and go a little darker, because we do have shadow, because this ear is bending, so we have shadow, not all the way up, so I'm just on the tip, right up against the graphite. Now I use actual graphite, not carbon, so that helps. Carbon, you'll know it's carbon paper. Even if it says graphite paper, you'll know it's carbon paper if it is black and not gray. If it's black or blue, it is carbon paper. Carbon paper has petroleum products in it and waxes, and when you burn next to that line, even if you don't burn next to the line, but in general, if you burn next to the line, it melts those oils and waxes into the wood, which is why you can't erase it. So I'm trying to curve up, which means I have to go over the grain. I'm just making little strokes because the fur or the hair on a horse's ear, on this particular horse's ear, is short. Alright, so we got no whiny. So following the direction, what I'm going to have to do is some negative burning around the ear for this white or light hair to stand out. Let's see, we got some here. We've got a wily Reva.
That's Roxy.
Oh, is it? Well, no, Reva's running up to me.
Roxy's doing the whining.
Why are we whining? So I'm just going where my graphite is and just tapping next to it, trying to go up with the hair, with the form of the ear, and then this curves. We're just going to be whiny butts today, aren't we?
They keep at it.
Go out into where I know there's white. Drag it in. Let's see here. I'm going to get my eraser. Now, some of this white's going to erase, and that's fine. It'll still kind of be embedded in the wood. Oh goodness, he has all kinds of energy. And remember, I can always put it back, so I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just going. Morgan doesn't seem to want to cross into the studio. She doesn't want to cross the threshold.
She's scared of the garage.
She's scared of the garage.
There's a stairs that are there. It's dark.
It's dark and it makes her nervous, but she didn't want to be by herself. Alright. So see, I erased some of the white. I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and lighten this up. If your transfer is too dark, I would recommend lightening it up, doing some erasing before. That way you're not fighting with it. Alright, let's brush it off. I could always reapply the white if it bothers me. It doesn't bother me. So
is this a members only or public?
Nope, this is a public. But we haven't been live streaming because we've been sick, so
There's five watching.
people get out of the habit of
Carmen's the only one in chat.
I'm going to darken this, and then we're going to... This is so light that I can just follow the hair and do some overlapping C-strokes. My temperature is light, so it's going to burn light the faster I move. But it will also give hair strokes because this tip is so thin. So it kind of gouges the wood, which is fine in this case. And I'm looking at my reference so I can make sure to follow it. Remember, I knew there was white here, so I'm just going to leave that for now. And with white, it can be hard because you want to get everything in, but you also have to see how everything is going. It can be a little overwhelming. So it's gouging the wood. I can feel it. I could even, this wood's so soft I could even use my fingernail to gouge if I wanted to.
Does that mean you have to like be extra careful and do like very light strokes?
Well, have your temperature down or off, and what it does is it allows you that when you do a flat burn, if you gouge just enough, it'll leave recesses of unburned area that will look light. But remember, the wood always darkens just a tad depending on your varnish. So you may actually lose those strokes if you don't, to be careful. What I'm going to do, because I haven't decided on the background yet, we have this other horse has lighter hair, lighter brown hair. I'm going to quickly just go up on the tip and along the ear. I'm flat, doing oval strokes at 1.5.
Carmen is asking if you sold your other horse burn.
Nope, I still have it. I still have it. I haven't been like advertising to sell. I still need to take really good pictures to make prints. Alright. So I'm just doing some negative burning around the ear. It's really light. It's actually a little darker than what you guys are seeing on screen. Excuse me, we are still sick, so please bear with us as we try not to cough in your ear. Alright. Trying to leave some. I'm going a little rough. Zigzag back and forth but flat in order to leave some hair sticking out. And it does go all the way down here, so I can just fill that in just so we can see, and then I'll darken up the screen so you can see how the negative burn forms the ear. So if you're doing white of anything, whether it's fur, hair, clothes, negative burning helps to shape that object. But I'm doing it lighter because I haven't decided what I'm doing with the background yet. It's going to be burned in, but I haven't decided how dark. So I know I can do a light burn to save the form, so even if I erase, I still have the shape of the ear. And the shape of the hair.
Spence is here.
Hey, Spence! Alright. Now we're going to move over to the dark ear, or what I mean by the inside is dark because we see the inside, but the light is not hitting it. So we have a darker form in there. Alright. Let's back the camera off just so you can see a little bit. Again, it's going to be light. I'm going to have you guys angled. So I basically have a bit of a halo. There we go. Maybe that makes it a little easier. I don't want to go too light. There we go. So I have my form. I can move on from it for now and go into the darker ear. Let's angle it so you guys can see. Sorry about that. I had something else over my screen, so I can't. There we go. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because hopefully that'll clear it up. If it's a little blurry for you, check your setting in YouTube. It should be streaming. Why am I not seeing? Huh. Should be doing 60p. It looks. There's my gear. Gear has moved to the bottom.
Burl's
right. Hey, Burl. There we go. Up my settings, so hopefully it doesn't. Should be HD for you. Excuse me. Maybe I'm a little too close. I got my new glasses finally, thankfully.
They look awesome.
I think you're biased. Alright. So we're focusing on this ear. I'm going to move this over. Looking at it tonally, I'm going to bump up to 2.5. I'm sticking with the Optima 18th ball spear shader. My favorite pen and the one I use absolutely the most. It is the most versatile for how I burn. Alrighty. I'm going to start up against this edge because looking at the reference photo, that is the darkest edge, is right here.
I'll be right back.
All
I'm
right.
very quiet and I need a cough drop.
Okay.
Quick.
I'm going to twist and use the right leg up against in the tip. And we can see that I definitely up the heat and tap in this shape, and then I can adjust. Remember, when you drag, the longer you drag, the more heat is pulled from the pen, regardless of what brand you're using. So if you're trying to stay hot, instead of raising your temperature, if you're already getting a temperature that you like, lift your pen so it can reheat quickly. All of the wire tips reheat quickly. That doesn't matter on brand. It's because of the wire. Alright. So I'm curved a little bit more to the right and using the top half of the tip so it's a thinner stroke. Trying to cut in these darker shadows right underneath this part of the fur that sticks out. I don't want any like harsh lines if I can help it. And then we'll fill it in. And look at my reference photo, so it's all dark right here. And then it lightens up over here. So even though this is a white ear, it is still got shading inside. And along here, because right now it's pretty thick, I'll go on my edge and do thinner strokes for the fur. Let's see here. So now I'm more on my left side. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to twirl to the left. If you're left-handed, it may be easier to twirl to the right. Slow down my stroke because it'll burn hotter. So our darkest is right here, and then it lightens as it goes over. So I need to darken all along here, but I'm gonna go tip flat, tip flat. That didn't sound right. Do some dragging. I have not changed my temperature, but you notice it's burning lighter because I'm moving quicker. So let's get this filled in real quick. And then I can adjust over here what's coming down. Okay, that's lighter. All right. If I don't go full dark, it gives me room to adjust. Because maybe I like it a little lighter, even though that's not how it necessarily reads in the photo. That's when I'm making artistic choices. So some of this hair is sticking up and it's lighter. So I'll leave some gap to allow it to come up. Now I'm going to do some erasing. Ugh, I feel like I haven't burned forever. My hand's already sore, and I haven't because I've been sick, you've been sick.
Yep.
This nasty stuff's been holding on to us for.
This is the first live I've been in a month.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, this is a.
It's a nasty bug.
Normally when I get sick, it might last for a week or two. This has been holding on
for a month.
And we checked. It's not anything else. Like I tested, for other things, and it's not. And I asked the healthcare team, and they're like, it's just going around Flagstaff, and it's a really nasty bug. And one nurse told me that it goes can go up to 4 to 6 weeks with some people. We're not going to experience that, but
you're already at a month.
Well, I know I'm in a month. I'm just not planning on going on 6 weeks.
Ugh. Alright, I'm using the right leg flat and just dragging with a bit of a U-stroke to get that curve, because the hair is coming, the outer ear curving in. But it's darker on the edge. So I'm trying to do the curve in the direction of the fur. Again, I'm going to readjust all this later. Let's see here. We got a bit of a dark. It goes up. So curve it. I'm going to go on my left leg edge and try to cut in. Oops. See, that's the problem with burning left or right. Well, it could be a problem burning up and down too. Catching the grain. No matter how smooth you sand, it's going to catch. Especially with basswood, because it's such a soft wood. Let's see here, it curves down later. So I'm going to go flat and drag. See, it's dark all the way in here with a light edge. So I'm going to go flat along the edge. And what's going to end up happening is I will adjust the inside when it's time, but I need to leave this light edge in order for it to read right. Drag. I'm on my edge to get that thinner stroke. And I can build it up. Remember, we're in the really, really early stages of ugly. Excuse me. So don't freak out. Stick with it. I'm on my right edge so that I can curve correctly. I can do it with my left, but because of how the grain is, it can be a little more temperamental, a little more fidgety. So down here, this is lighter because the light is hitting it. This is lighter because the light is hitting it. But then we got a bit of shading. So you can see based on how thin my strokes are, I'm up on my edge. And I'll darken that. Now where it's lighter, I'll go a little flatter and just drag down. Then I need to drag this way to darken this area up. Go on my edge to make it more hair-like. Here, we have a bit of a shadow around. There's some darkness around. So I need to find the shape and follow it. So this line right here, just kind of tap. I'm tapping and dragging out while trying to follow the direction. Let's see here. So do that. I'm up on that tip. I highly recommend you just spend time with your tips. Only buy no more than 4 tips, because if you have anything more, it'll get a little confusing, a little, I don't know what to pick. So if you're new to burning and you're hanging out with us, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like so that YouTube will tell you when we're live. Do 2 public lives a month, and the other 2 lives a month are for members only. You can join down by the subscription button. Plus, if you join, you get all the past lives. Alright, this is longer, so I'm going to go flat. You get to join our super secret Facebook group if you're on Facebook. I don't spam posts. In fact, I need to get better about posting. The Super Toasties can tell you that one. Alright, we got some dark that comes up here.
Burl says, come on, I love my 20-some tips.
But you already know how to use your burner, so having more tips is no big deal. But if you're brand new, like if you're buying the Chinese brands on Amazon, it'll say 40 tips. Well, what you need to pay attention to is 1, it's 20 tips in general, with 20 extra tips of the same ones, and the reason they give you those extra tips is because they break very easy. So that's why there's so many tips. let's see here. We go to this line right here. And I'm just going to barely touch. I'm on my edge. That's why my strokes are so thin. And those pens from Amazon, also the tips are not oxidized. So they hold on to carbon because the oxidation is the discoloration on the pen. You want that. You want that, whether it's gray or blue, depending on the metal. You want that oxidation because oxidation is harder and more stable than carbon. Makes your pen easier to clean off. So if you clean your tip and you keep making it all to look shiny and new, you're taking off that oxidation that is already on the tip, making it harder to clean, to get the carbon off. So right now I'm extending that dark. And see, as we've been jabbering it away, we've got an ear that's forming.
It's looking good.
But I gotta keep at it because it still has so much more work it needs.
Spence says, as for the tips, he says, yeah, I have more than 4, but not 20.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm sure manufacturers wouldn't be too happy with me, don't buy all of them. Buy 4, the ones that are the most universal, the most helpful, and hang out with those for a while. Then, if you decide down the road you want more pens, well, you'll have a better idea of what kind of pen to buy, so you're not buying a whole bunch trying to figure out what you like. You already know, which saves you money, especially nowadays. I'm flat. I'm just kind of sketching in this edge.
I'm going to check on them in another 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
They've been outside. I just, she loves to dig.
Yeah. Surprised she hasn't dug herself to China yet.
Well,
Not from a lack of trying.
that's a concern.
Alright. I'm going to do little strokes because I need to bring this down.
It's actually probably good that our soil is kind of rocky.
Yeah, she aerates it
Well, I'm just saying that the rocks stop her from digging
further.
enormous holes. Huskies like sleep holes,
Yeah.
and that's her instinct. And
Yeah.
she's definitely doing that, or digging a lot, I should say.
Alright, so this is a thicker area.
Definitely a husky.
Darkest area, so just up on the tip. The tip of any pen is the very tip of it's gonna be the hottest area.
Yes, Spence, that is why I check. Spence says if they're quiet, they're up to something.
Yep, just like kids.
They're kids, and I'm always suspicious.
Yes. Alright, let's pull some of these darks up here, and then we'll do the negative burning, because right here we have a lot of white hair that comes back behind the ear that we need to take into consideration. Plus, again, we need this light. I'm going to grab my white charcoal so I can mark out. Again, it's going to be erased. It's going to be adjusted. It's just a visual, so I know what I can erase and how close to burn to an area. Let's see here. I've got that pointy, but this ear is more rounded. And then it comes out and it's thicker right here. If I go over an area I've burned, it's just gonna be easier to erase. So I'm gonna drag this hair in because it's a little floofy right there. And then we got the lighter hair here. Again, I want to do some erasing, so that's why I'm marking this stuff out. It's so I know what's what where. And I don't need a whole lot of white to do this. There we go. And then it comes up. Alright, that's just so we can know. I'm going to quickly, even on 2.5, even though I did this side at 1.5, I'm going to quickly just the tip flat. Oval strokes. And I know this side is at least going to be darker, so I can really get the white to pop. Are they just sunbathing?
Yeah, they were just outside. I don't see any dirty paws, so they weren't digging.
Alright, I got that side. Sorry, I gotta adjust my rings. Sometimes they twist and start poking me. So on this side where we've got this flyaway hair, I'm going to leave some gap so I can adjust. Because I made these a little thicker than they're going to need to be. I can even go in with a knife before I start burning and like carve those in so I don't lose them. In fact, I can do that right now just to show you. It's nice to actually just sit and burn. I should be so much further along with this piece, but last week I was so exhausted. I had to cancel the members live because I was so afraid I was going to fall asleep while burning. And I have done that before, so. Alright, let's see here. Do I want the knife? No, I'm not going to use the knife, I don't think. I am going to use... And see how this is blue? That's oxidation. So I don't want to polish that out. This pin is not hooked up. I'm just using it to gouge the wood. That way. And I hear a little creak, so I know I'm going. What this is doing is not cutting the wood. It indents the wood, which means pushing.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand what you meant. So it's like, it's actually pushing the burn into the wood a little bit. So
yeah, but I'm not burning.
Oh.
Right now, I'm just carving into the wood. That way, one, if I erase when I'm doing the dark background, wherever this pin indents will either not burn at all or burn lightly.
So you're creating a resist.
Yep.
Okay. See, I didn't understand what you were doing, so I'm glad you explained that.
I'm using the you do have to be careful because you can inadvertently push the graphite into the wood. Let's see here. So, you know what? I'll do it here. And then I'll kind of burn out a dark. So there.
Is there any particular tip that works best for this?
This is the skew, the small skew. You can use a X-Acto knife. It didn't have to be.
Okay.
I'm going to put some hair behind the ear.
And I suppose the thickness of it, you would use something thicker if you wanted thicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, if you really wanted a thicker line, but you need that resist, you can use a butter knife.
Yeah, non-serrated, I would think.
Yes.
At least the non-serrated side. Because the serrated would tear it, but the smooth point would work.
Alright, let's see here. I've got...
I'm really looking forward to see how this turns out. Because the other horse, and the bear, of course, are so beautiful. So...
Let's see here. I feel like I need to go off. Alright, let's see if that was enough. Do a little bit of erasing. I'm going to show you right there where I really went heavy-handed. I pushed harder. Which you don't have to push hard, at least not with basswood. Other woods you might have to, but with basswood you don't need to. Like I said, I could do this with my finger now. But I'll show you right here, this line right there.
I think it was a better visualization you doing it with the pen tip though, because you could see the pen tip kind of cutting into the wood.
Alright. Now if it's too thin and you're too hot, you'll still burn in. And I could use this pen to do the edge as well. I would just turn down the heat. Alright.
When you're brushing and erasing stuff off, do you ever worry about the oil on your hands, or is that not really?
No.
That's not really a factor in burning.
I always wash my hands before I burn, so if there's any lotion, it takes it off. Let's see here. That was a pretty thin line, so it's not showing up as much. Let's see. Let's check over here. And if it's not enough, you can always scratch it out after.
Spence says he can see that deep line.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get it light, and it burned because it went with the grain more. It burned along with it.
I think in some cases you'd have to
adjust
and get the feel for what you're doing, so that if you want thicker or even tapering lines, there's a technique there.
So I'm flat. Let's see here. It didn't do it enough. But I know where it's at, so now I can take excuse me, an X-Acto. Yeah, see, this was really soft.
You can see those better, I think. The ones up top of the ear. Yeah, you can. That's cool, because one of the veins of most every art medium is when you're doing really thin lines for hair, especially, is how do you accomplish that successfully, so especially when it's a light line. So painting, you have to use really fine brushes.
Let's see here.
If you're doing pencils, then you have to potentially use a very fine eraser, and then you might have to adjust that line, with a graphite.
I'm pushing harder.
You can do resist with pencils, but then it's more evident because it has more effect on the paper or whatever you're drawing on. So
yeah,
ink is hard because it's a little harder to control. So I think this is an interesting.
So if I'm trying to scratch out, I tend to turn my knife and make it a little wider. So let's see here.
And that's what I was talking about for technique, because if you wanted hair to taper, then you'd have to like kind of alter the angle of the blade as you move down the length of the hair that you're trying to depict.
Yeah, because this is really, really thin.
Yeah.
The blade.
Yeah. That is interesting.
Let's put some hair in here. Do some erasing. And again, you can end up pushing the graphite if you go over it too hard. So you really need to be careful with that. I'm going to go back over this area since I kind of scratched out. I can see it more than you guys can see it on camera. That's what I'm trying to show you guys.
Carmen says she needs to step away for a few minutes. The warmer temperatures, melting all the snow. Looks like the water is going over the driveway.
Water.
Well, we have 13 minutes left in the broadcast.
Oh. Okay.
But hopefully she'll be back before the end.
Alright, still at 2.5. I'm going to go flat, move quickly. Now, I'm going to, like I said, burn this area dark. There we go. I may have just been going too thin. But I really want you guys to be able to see.
Yeah, we can see it. Like, I can clearly see what's going on there. It's kind of nice because it's like, it's kind of like those magic pen books when you're a kid, where it doesn't look like there's anything there until you start putting the pen over it, and the stuff starts emerging. Picture starts emerging.
So if you're burning white, you can, or light, you can use this technique regardless of what, whether it's hair or fur or an edge highlight. So this will still go darker, but I'm intentionally trying to show you. Excuse me. Still having to sleep upright. That really sucks. Alright. So let's back out. See how we're doing. It's not. Let's see. I see it more in person than you guys are seeing it.
Well, we can see it.
Trying to get this adjusted. Yeah, I can see it more. So now I know I need to go darker here along this line. Again, trying to go in the direction of the hair. It's going to be ugly until it's not. You gotta keep that in mind. It's gonna be ugly until it's not. So this all definitely needs to go darker. And the fur that's curving into the inner ear, as it curves, that tip is going to get darker as well. Even though it's still lighter, you can still see it in the photo. It's going to get darker because it's curling away. It's following the form and curling away from the light. So anything in the middle is going to be darker than on the outside. I'm going to go flat. Work on darkening this up. Trying to follow the shape.
Spence says looks great.
Thank you. Next week, members, we're working on the bangs of the mane. And I will really push.
Sorry.
I say it every week, but I'll really push to get more burned in so we can see more. As
Just remember that we have a lot of stuff going on this week.
we do.
So
That we
if you
do.
don't get as much done as you desire, that's going to have to be okay.
Let's see here. I'm trying to darken. These darks, even though it's white hair, these darks within the hair are what shape the ear. Shapes anything, regardless of what your subject is. And if you get too dark, you can always scratch it out. And it'll look like you did it on purpose. And if you got what you perceive as an oops, if you do it in a couple other places and it looks good, then you did, now it looks like you did it on purpose. And one less thing to worry about. In fact, overall, the hope is you won't be worrying about anything. You'll just be burning. That's the goal. I already did the shuffle and pull a card to see what we need to hear this week for our art, and let me tell you, that card is quite fitting. I'll get that pulled out here in a second.
Is the doggy bothering anybody?
Well, we're almost done. Alright. So I will keep darkening this. I'll keep shaping this. Whitening this part. Actually, no. I'm not going to white this part anymore. You need to round it. Now I'll keep working that back and forth, back and forth. Alrighty, I'll turn this off. I'll turn this back on so I can read the card for the week of what you need to hear, what we need to hear for our art. And I find it very, very fitting. This is what the universe has to say to us. Actually, I'm going to turn this light off since I pulled back. And I'll lighten it up this way. Maybe. Yeah, I'll leave it be, because I'll just sit and mess with it the whole time. Alright, so our card for this week of what we need to know for our art. Anticipation. I release attachments. And hopefully you'll hear here in a minute exactly how this fits me for sure. I welcome anticipation with open arms and enthusiasm, gracefully, releasing my attachment to outcomes. How fitting. This approach allows me to fully receive and appreciate the gifts and lessons that come my way, enriching my experience and my growth. I get really focused on what I see in my head is what I expect it to be on the board. And I really need to release that attachment. Really, really do. Because however it ends up in the end is how it was meant to be. As long as I did my best, chilled out, and open myself up to the process, it will turn out the way I need it to turn out. So this card for me is definitely speaking my language. I need to release my attachment to outcomes. These guys are going to be however they're going to be. They'll be good. I will do a good job. But they will be how they're going to be. Not stressing about it. So hopefully that spoke to you too. Maybe you needed to hear about it, whether it's about your art or something else. Maybe that's just what you needed to hear. Alrighty. Let's see here. Carmen's back. We're going to end it here. Next week is Members Live, Member Only Live. Again, you can become a member either through the Ko-fi link that is in my description or through YouTube. Excuse me. And have access to this pattern and so many others, including the bear we finally finished. And we're 10 away from 9,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
10 people!
Wow, that's a lot.
I know. Alrighty. Say it with me.
Say it with me.
You're awesome. You can do this. Why?
I don't know.
Because you're a pyro artist.
Oh, yeah.
Happy burning, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, awesome, Spence. There you go. However you needed to hear it.
Oh, that's